know our children. I think that is the first thing that we cannot ignore. We cannot ignore that we are a father, we are a mother, we are parents, and there are so many facts and so many truths that we must not ignore. Because once we ignore it, we will not know what to do. And as time goes by, everything becomes very blur. And then we simply just take on the ideas of whatever is given to us in the wider society, which might work for society at large, but it does not work for the individual family and the individual father, individual mother, individual parents. It just doesn't work because there are so many things that we need to take note of for ourselves, right? So one of the things that we cannot ignore would be, we cannot ignore that we need to know this stranger who has not even developed some kind of personality that we can readily observe. Right, we can see from young, oh, this child cries more, this child doesn't give in more. Okay, we know that, yeah, his personality is more hard-headed. Right, but these are just signs and hints. We really need to put in the effort. So next, we cannot ignore the fact that we are parents. Right, because down the road, because as things get more and more challenging, most of the time we give up our role as fathers and mothers and parents. Then slowly we start to give in to the fact that, hey, maybe we can outsource certain difficult challenges to people around us, and then we take for granted that things will just turn out fine. But it doesn't, because why? We have a nagging feeling that something is not right, and then next we ignore our nagging feeling that something is not right. So there are many things that we can ignore, but right, I think that what ultimately we have to go back to the root of the problem is that we have forgotten what is a father, what's a mother, what are parents, what are children. These things we have to relearn, right? So even the fact of changing my mind and changing your paradigm, right? It is only possible that the changing of your paradigms, changing of your worldviews, changing of your mind, changing of the way you act, right? It can only work if you know what's the right direction, right? Because we can lie to ourselves that we have changed our mind, but it could change in a bad way. We could change our paradigm in a bad way. Why? Because we have been changing our minds all along. Most people, they get into a marriage, right? Happily, positively, excitedly, they have a vision, right? And then when things get hard, or because they have not learned something that is useful beforehand, they subconsciously change their mind, right? Giving up your role as a father, giving up your role as a parent, giving up your role as a husband, you have already changed your mind. You just don't realize that you changed your mind because you didn't have the truth, the foundation to base your actions and your role upon, right? You have changed your mind, you just didn't know it, right? So changing your mind and changing your paradigm is a very neutral thing. But knowing what is true, knowing what is right, knowing what works, observing that you have not found the way home back to the city for your child, observing that, oh, you realize that until now you have lost sight of your child, that's the right direction, right? Then only then you must realize that now you must change. So do not for a moment think that you are not changing your mind. You are changing your mind all along, right? But is it in the right direction? And also it is possible to change your mind to a point where you find a sweet spot, but that sweet spot is actually a lazy spot or a stagnant spot. Yeah, so all these things we have to work it out for ourselves, and I totally agree with you. If anybody needs help to clarify their life in a better way, I think this is a good place, right? Because we have been doing this for ourselves, for everyone, for the past how many years? At least for me, it's the past 18 years.